Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, we are talking all things Snail Mucin. Now, Snail Mucin has been the #1 must-have skincare ingredient for the longest time. It went viral around 5 or 6 years ago, and that pace has never slowed up. In fact, year in, year out, the Cosrx Advanced Snail Essence has been one of the top 10 best-selling skincare products in the world. However, things seem to have changed in 2024. You now see a lot of people online suggesting that Snail Mucin maybe isn't as effective as we first thought, saying as an ingredient it's overhyped, it overpromises, and actually, as consumers, we should set our expectations. You see a lot of content creators actually turning their back on snail secretion and questioning whether they actually need it in their skincare routine. So, we're going to take a look at it all in today's video. What's the truth about Snail Mucin? Is it a product that we should be using in our skincare routine, or has the tide turned? Has the world moved on from snail secretion, and should we be looking to other ingredients for our skincare needs? Sit back, relax, let's talk all things Snail Mucin. Now, before we get into today's video, I would of course love to know your own experiences with Snail Mucin. Give me like your before and afters down in the comment section below. I'm going to try and present a balanced view here. We're going to look at the pros, the cons, and everything in between. However, I would love to hear of your experiences because I think that real life experience is where it really counts. So let me know in the comments below. Whatever your thoughts on Snail Mucin, if you enjoy this style of content where we do a bit of a deep dive into a specific ingredient, again, let me know by reaching down and giving the video a big thumbs up and a like. This really supports me as a content creator because the more likes the video gets, the more widely YouTube will distribute it on its platform. So from the bottom of my heart, love to each and every one of you. Now, without further ado, let's cut that waffle and delve straight on in. So, Snail Mucin, what is it and what can it do? Well, it is exactly what it sounds like. It is the secretion that snails release as they move across the surface of the earth. Now, if that really grosses you out, don't worry, you're not alone. It certainly did me when I first heard of it. But actually, it's been used for decades, particularly in Korean skincare. Now, there have been some studies done into Snail Mucin, snail secretion, and to the benefits that it can bring for the skin, but those studies are slightly limited. A lot of what we take in terms of the benefits are from anecdotal evidence, people's own real-world lived experiences having used Snail Mucin, and honestly, people have been going mad for it. As I said, it's one of the most viral skincare ingredients out there, and the Cosrx version has been one of the best sellers for years. However, 2024 actually marks the first year where that Cosrx product fell out of the top 10 bestsellers, and there definitely seems to have been a bit of a pushback when it comes to Snail Mucin, people questioning just how effective it is. So we're going to do a bit of a deep dive into what exactly it can and can't deliver for our skincare routine. I'm then going to come on to some of the issues with Snail Mucin, and finally talk about some of the options if you do want to get your hands on it. So, first and foremost, let's look at the science, look at the data, look at the studies. These studies show that Snail Mucin definitely has a beneficial impact on the hydration levels of the skin. This kind of is to be expected because if you look at the individual components within Snail Mucin, packed full of hyaluronic acid and other humectants which are going to plump out our skin. When it comes to hydration, I think the studies prove categorically that Snail Mucin and Snail Mucin containing products definitely can plump and hydrate the skin. There have also been some studies done into wound healing and the topical application of snail secretion to aid in wound healing. These have actually shown some real positive outcomes, saying that it can really help speed up the healing time of the skin, meaning it could be really beneficial for people that have acne, breakouts, anything that we're really trying to promote the heal. However, other than that, these studies are pretty limited in terms of what they demonstrate Snail Mucin can do. Now, that's just one side of it, the studies. What do people who actually use Snail Mucin say? A lot of people say it can be a game changer when it comes to fading hyperpigmentation, dark spots, and discoloration, helping you achieve a more even skin tone. People say it's packed full of antioxidants, which can really help to prevent free radical damage and premature aging. There are even people out there that say it can boost collagen and elastin production. Well, actually, if you do a deep dive, can it increase collagen and elastin production? Absolutely not. So let's dispel that myth. There are other ingredients out there that can do that. However, Snail Mucin isn't one of them. If we look at its ability to provide antioxidant protection, yes, there are antioxidant components within Snail Mucin, but just about everything in our skincare routine has some element of antioxidant protection. And so I don't think it's game-changing or groundbreaking in any way, but there are some elements too of antioxidants within Snail Mucin. And then when it comes to fading hyperpigmentation, dark spots, and discoloration, This is definitely something that people report Snail Mucin having helped them achieve, but again, there's no studies that actually back that up. So I'd say there are some clear benefits to Snail Mucin, particularly around hydration, plumping the skin. We'll give some low-level antioxidant protection too. But I think we really need to set our expectations right and maybe moderate what we're expecting in terms of outcomes before we start buying our Snail Mucin serums. So why suddenly the turn? Why has everyone decided to turn their back on Snail Mucin? Well, a lot of this has actually been driven by the dermatologist community, particularly here on YouTube, with a lot of online derms actually saying just what I've gone over now, that sometimes the benefits are overblown, leading to unrealistic expectations. They also say that there is a risk of sensitivity to Snail Mucin. I think a lot of people think because it sounds quite gentle that there won't be any issues. Absolutely, it's one of the ingredients in skincare that you're most likely to have an allergic reaction to. So anybody that's allergic to dust mites in particular, know that there will be some crossover and potentially there's some similarities and you could potentially be allergic to Snail Mucin. And because of this, I think there's a lot of people calling out saying it's not benign. You can absolutely have a reaction to it like you can any skincare product, and it actually has an increased risk of an allergic reaction versus some other ingredients. I read a really interesting review of one particular dermatologist who, I'll link in the descriptions, that said, actually, when you look at Snail Mucin, does it deliver benefits? Yes. But it delivers benefits in line with the traditional hyaluronic acid serum, nothing more, nothing less. And I think that is a fair assessment. If you like hyaluronic acid, switching it out for a Snail Mucin will be a like-for-like swap. But if you're expecting game-changing anti-aging for it to rival a retinoid, you're probably going to be disappointed. And I think those unrealistic expectations are driving some of the backlash. Also, there have been people calling out just how cruelty-free is Snail Mucin. So there are some brands that say they harvest this snail secretion in a completely ethical way which is harmless to the animals. However, no procedure, however it's done, is going to be completely harm-free when it comes to snails, and this has got a lot of people talking. Just how harmless is it when we come to harvesting this? I'll leave people to make their own assessment on that because we all have our different perspectives, but this is definitely part of that conversation, which is why I think a lot of people are starting to look to alternatives. So for me, there are two things I would say you can do. If you're hooked on your Snail Mucin and you never want to let it go, I'd say look for a Snail Mucin Plus serum. Instead of just relying on one that's packed full of Snail Mucin like the Cosrx one, go for one that has Snail Mucin and some other beneficial ingredients to really dial up the benefit. One of my favourites is this. This is the Jumiso Snail Mucin 95 Plus Peptide Essence. This has that high dose of Snail Mucin plus peptides. So this is going to give you that collagen boost. It's going to give you that anti-aging alongside the benefits of Snail Mucin. It's a 2-in-1, and that way you can elevate your anti-aging skincare routine without giving up your Snail Mucin at all. You'd also opt for one of the snail-free alternatives. The recent study showed that a particular form of wild yam extract can actually deliver you very similar outcomes to traditional Snail Mucin. And one of my favourite brands, V Green, do a snail-free like Mucin Essence. I'll leave an image of it here on the screen. This is a great option, which is going to give you the same outcomes without actually ever having a snail involved. So if you're worried about the treatment of the snails, or like me, you're just a bit grossed out by the idea of the slime being on the skin, this is a fantastic snail-free option that I think a lot of people really need to be on board with because it gives some great results. For me, is it over for Snail Mucin? I don't think so. I still think there'll be people that are hardcore fans of this ingredient, be buying it time and time again. But I think the whole world has realised that, as with everything, we need to set our expectations right. Is it going to cure all your skin issues? Absolutely not. But could it aid with promotion of wound healing and, the increase in hydration levels of the skin? Absolutely. So I would say shop with a purpose. Get yourself a Snail Mucin Plus serum like this one, or go for an entirely snail-free option if that's your primary motivation. And hopefully in this video, we've dispelled some of the myths that Snail Mucin is toxic, which I've heard someone say online, is terrible for the environment, which again, there's no proof that that's the case beyond any other traditional skincare ingredient. And there are some options out there. So shop wisely and make sure that you buy products that meet your individual skin's needs and your own stance on things. Hopefully this helps, and wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and love your skin. Take care. Bye.